Where are they all going? What are they talking about? At home, if anyone caught me drifting off like that, they'd say, "What's wrong?" Mum, for example. She'd grab my face and make me look at her, distressed about where I'd gone. When I'd get all my best thinking and learning done. Can't say I miss it much, now that I live here. I wish I knew where it started. I find it hard to care about younger years. I was a sentient potato, the end. Okay, I was the same person I am now. Early signs all there, surely. I just wish I could have been raised on a private island by robots until I was ready for public consumption. Which isn't even yet. When I was old enough to walk to school, I'd often be late to class. On my morning walks, I'd get in imaginary arguments with God. Why is there so much suffering in the world? Teachers accused me of sauntering and then staring out the window. Told me to pull my finger out. Why is that even an expression? I corrected everyone. Just trying to help, but then I was precocious or obstreperous. Teachers had to think of how to keep me busy. They didn't much like that. It was like, when the words left my head, they got translated through some random intermediate language and then back into English. There was always a strip layer of meaning. I went quiet and mostly hung out by myself. Then I was arrogant, jumpy, serious, sensitive. They should have seen what they looked like from in here. None of their words hit the mark for me. But it was the same words that kept resurfacing. Saunter, stare, finger, precocious. So many of them and just one of me. Obstreperous, arrogant, jumpy, serious, sensitive. Sometimes it feels like the only goal in life is for me to attach a cringeworthy memory to every individual word until I can't think a sentence without doubling over in shame or embarrassment. Wow, that's so cool. Did you know that hippos are the only mammal that produce pink milk? Enjoying life for its own sake is lost art out there. Read in public and people won't hesitate to interrupt you. They think they're helping. I'd tell others I wanted to spend time alone, and they'd think I'd implied something else. I was never so fluent in the language of others that I could mess around with it like that. Just said what I meant always, which was uncool, but that was the least of my problems. All this constantly caused offense. I couldn't exist in public without hurting feelings. And I eventually lost the heart to shoo others away and humour whoever. They'd ask which celebrity I wanted to date. I'd have to remember the name of any of them, and they'd explain precisely where they lived, giving me directions from school to their home for some reason, while they fully know I'd never visit. They'd sing something and just look at me while doing so. What are you supposed to do when someone does that? Later, whoever would potter off and feel like they'd done their good deed for the day, I'd relax my shoulders, breathe regularly again, and think, phew. Survived another human interaction without making the world slightly worse. So obsessed with everyone else having a good time in my company that I forgot to have one myself, especially if they call themselves friend of mine, as some kind folk started to do. Like my playground wife, Millie Price. We sat and made daisy chains together at the corner of the playground while other kids turned their jumpers into goalposts.
I loved having friends, too much to spend time with them. Having friends made me feel normal, but spending time with them didn't. I thought I'd do something to end the friendship. If you don't spend enough time with your friends, you lose them.
I wore down the soles of my shoes at an angle from constantly rolling my ankles. I chewed on pens, pencils, TV remotes were my favourite. We had metal ones at home, and I liked the taste. I picked my nose until it bled, bit all the sleeves of my jumpers to shreds. Couldn't sit still.
Adults warned me to stop, but I couldn't.
Stop biting your sleeves. Chewing gum in class. Picking at your nails. Quit these dirty, disgusting habits. Look at me in the face when I'm talking to you. Take your hand away from your mouth when you're speaking to me. Don't talk back to me. Ignore the noise. Take part. Wake up. Pay attention. Pull the finger out.
They had to do something about the problem that was me. I had to learn to socialise properly.
Mum thought my idleness was a sign of depression or anxiety. I heard Dad once ask her what a 10-year-old had to be depressed about.
The Holocaust?
I replied, bursting in.
How about living under the constant threat of nuclear annihilation? Climate change? What are we even supposed to do with that? He brought me into a world so close to ending and without a solution in sight. And we don't even talk about it. How am I supposed to feel?
He just looked at me, stunned. Eventually, his shoulders relaxed.
Sometimes,
He said,
you think these big global issues are what's getting you down when, really, you haven't eaten or slept enough.
A typical response. His only response. Dad's whole parenting style was to operate as though I was a smaller version of himself, destined to live out the exact same life.
He'd take me to football games, and I'd ask him, "Who's our team again? The Stripes or the Solids?" He'd just laugh.
Stripes and solids I'd learnt from when he tried to teach me snooker, which I also didn't care about. Maybe rugby's your sport, he said once. I spent a whole summer at rugby camp just to try and please him. Moving on.
Mum and Dad took me to the doctor, who put me on medication to curb my emotions. Seemed like a good deal at the time. The highest highs went with the lowest lows, but I wasn't up as nearly as much as I was down. Eventually, my mood came in line with everyone else's. They were happier with me. As for me, I was less anything about anything. That was the point. I slept more, probably the hidden exertion of repressing my true self all day. During my naps, I'd have nightmares about my poor social performance. Going on stage and not knowing my lines, or joining my favourite bands on stage with instruments I'd never played.
The medication dulled my intuition too. But I was thankful for that. People didn't much appreciate me following my intuition after all. They wanted my behaviour to be a phase rather than who I was. I couldn't make that the case. But the meds made it easier for me to act like it was true, which was the same for everyone else but me. Others were keen to hang out with the false identity they'd forged for me. But I could think of no other solution than to keep up the act as long as I could. And I never stopped. Over time, I learnt their language instead of developing my own. Predicted ways in which I might get badly translated. When I thought it was how my face isn't as expressive as anyone else's, I started asking other kids, what's my face doing now?
So they called me.
It doesn't even make sense.
Eventually, I became unrecognisable to even myself. By the time I was a teen, they'd almost ground all the me out of me. And after a particular group chemistry project, I realised I couldn't keep up the act without help. I'm at the table with Chloe Jones, Lily Thompson, Emily Talon, and Sophie Mills. Mrs. Bell knows I'll do the project myself while pulling the populous greys out the gutter, and then they might be nicer to me. Pretty good deal. I'm assembling a triglyceride molecule all by myself. The girls gossip about some club they're going to go to and how they'll sneak in a vodka in a wrapped up biscuit tin, pretending it's a birthday gift.
To this day, I couldn't draw you the molecular structure of glycerol, but I can remember that ridiculous plan. I'm thinking, what am I supposed to learn here? I'm thinking, is this preparing me for a life where less competent people interrupt my genuine interests with absolute nonsense? If so, pretty accurate summary of adulthood. But why? My molecule assembly earns me an invite to the Diamond to celebrate with the populace.
I head home and collapse at the dinner table. It's never some earth-shattering thing that breaks me, always these apparent slights. Point is, I'm not coping. Maybe I never was, and I just can't hide it anymore. Bro's talking about the gym as always, really into it, in a way I don't understand.
Protein diet is going to make me an absolute unit. Documentaries about Navy SEALs, man. They survive in mad conditions. Jungles, the Arctic, tied up underwater. I made the best caveman. All that hunting and gathering, you know.
Proud of how well adapted he might have been to some imagined version of a primitive existence a minimum of 12,000 years ago. But it seems to make him happy, and it's closer than I've ever gotten to being adapted to any era ever. So again, I won't judge.
Building up my muscle and stamina and that. Feels like I'm going somewhere, you know.
How nice it must feel to feel like you're going somewhere.
Glad you're enjoying it, son. Yeah, because that gym is costing us a mint.
Bro's there every day. And you appreciate the membership, right?
Yeah.
You can afford it.
Of course, of course.
So, what's the problem?
Taxes.
You both have super nice lives.
Way better than we grew up with. Hope you never forget that.
So, how'd you find so much to complain about?
I sit with Mum and Dad. They share their standard post-dinner bottle of wine. Often more, never less.
What's up, son?
After I explain as best I can how I'm feeling, Dad says,
Takes time to turn the Titanic.
his usual line when he finds me impatient. I think it's supposed to reassure me. Did he not know what happened to the Titanic? He does that stiff upper lip, always working thing. Not just a bad habit so much as a framework for existence that's been in operation for 50 years. Good luck helping him. The guy knows no other way of being, and he's too scared, busy, or lacking in imagination to try something else. I don't think he likes his job much. Something to do with entering some sort of data. And a lot of numbers.
That would make sense, given his character.
He says stuff like,
If we leave now, it's a 7-minute walk and we'll catch the 11:14.
The poor guy evidently does something dull to keep me in food and electricity. And I can't even care enough to learn what it is. When's his birthday again?
Dad takes it as a personal insult that I expect more from life. Probably because he enjoys his so little, which he takes as a sign that everything is in working order. To suggest something else is true, as I do now, threatens to upend his stability. Well, if someone in your care did that to you, you simply have to stop them thinking that way. I guess.
Don't be so harsh on the boy.
Mum is an absorbent dreamer.
When she complains at the dinner table, she's doing Dad cosplay or something. She mimics him out of affection. It's not through some constant need to grind her face in reality as it is for Dad, but merely another costume for her to wear sometimes. Just another dream she's having. A dream to be interrupted as little as possible. Which is probably why she suggests I talk over my problems with a therapist. I can relate to my mum's way of living. If I'm right about what she's doing, it gives me some hope for my own future. That one day I can live in an uninterrupted dream. Someone has to go to therapy. It won't be Mum, Dad, or Bro, so I guess it has to be me. At least one of us is finally taking the hit. Better that I start now while Mum and Dad will still foot the bill and before there are grandkids around and we start passing whatever this is onto someone else.
I cannot prescribe you with any medications, by the way.
I don't want any.
Doctors prescribe medications, I can't.
Well, we tried that before when I was younger and...
You might need some.
After that exchange, she listens to all the struggles I'm having. The nervous tics, the constant crosstalk, how fucking lost I am.
You're trapped in your own head.
My head's the least of my problems. I'm never bored, judged, cajoled, teased, mocked, advised, silenced, lost, or alone in my own head. I can just never spend enough time there. My head is not the trap.
Forget the trap analogy.
Why? It was working.
Your peers are trying to help, you know. Their mockery of your interests is a kind of backhanded socialization.
What do you mean?
All that insult-laden banter you describe, it's playful conflict.
There's no such thing for me. It's all distressing. Whenever kids were joking around and they urged me to join in, I'd always hit the wrong notes, take it too far. I never wanted to joke around in the first place. I'd happily never have done it, especially since I was the one who always hurt people the most.
But they don't mean anything by it. It's like visiting a friend's house and they've got this dog that barks at you, but they tell you it's friendly. They swear it will never bite you.
Deeply unpleasant for no reason, you mean? Most would rather have an aggressive dog than no company at all. And I have a problem with that.
Then think of it as advice.
Advice on what?
Making friends.
With who?
Ordinary people.
Why would I want to be friends with ordinary people?
Here's an assignment for you. Sit in the school cafeteria with someone new. Talk to them about the weather. Or sports. You have to be an extrovert.
Well, I'm fucked then.
With that attitude, certainly. What kind of people would you like to be friends with? What are your interests?
Well, Carthaginians, film ratings, new religious movements, ladybirds, Egyptian mythology, the layout of the London Underground, the history of the Windows 95 operating system, cluster B personality disorders, theory of general relativity, the periodic table of elements, puppets.
Puppets.
Yeah.
Let's try and broaden that a little. Maybe there's a drama club at your school you could join.
I don't think so.
You know what that means then, don't you?
I have to start it myself. Not bad. I can start a club at school if there isn't one for folk like me. Okay, my kind of club has a membership of one and takes place in my own head. But drama club was a nice plan B.
I negotiate with a teacher for use of her classroom after hours, and then go around handing out my flyers and invites. Kids call them cute. Roy later explains this is an insult. None of the ones who said they show up do. Is it fun for them to promise things and not do them? Other kids eventually show up though. Tina, with that weird haughty look on her face, chewing gum. Steve, power walking into the room, flexing his muscles. Liz, with her neck cranked down, sucks into the world of her phone. Mostly the kids who had mocked my efforts. They act like their attendance is a favour to me, like I'm a charity case or something. I suggest we can think of a play that we can put on at the end of the school year. We could even write our own if we're feeling ambitious enough. They brainstorm for a bit, but soon talk about other stuff. They do that instead for most of the hour and a half we have together. I watch them, pleased they're all being social on account of something I organised, even though I'm not technically participating myself. Most of them return. They must have had a good time.
Is this the only way I'm supposed to know that? Do they message each other using some method I'm unfamiliar with? Pheromones, telepathy, sign language behind my back?
I hope the group can find a form and land on a theatre production that we can all perform. They almost never talk about theatre. Sometimes they enjoy one another's company. Other times they hook up, fall out, gossip, complain, steal and shout, which is all pretty dramatic, to be fair.
Angela Pearson offers to be new vice president. Fine, I say. I can use the help. Maybe we'll actually get somewhere. Megan Riley takes me aside afterwards. You shouldn't have done that. She'll take over the club. We don't like her the way we like you. How endlessly I repress my social discomfort, she probably means. Just like when I was small. They love it. They want to keep me in it. But when I hear about Angela's intentions, I think, brilliant. I'm going to let her take over.
Angela starts texting me. No idea how, I didn't give her my number. She asks if it's okay to lead this meeting and that. And I say fine, and eventually I stop showing up at all. She gives my number to the rest. Sometimes they message me about maths or physics questions, but mostly they just complain about their lives because I seem so sweet and open. I bet that therapist would think this is even more of a better outcome than I'd first hoped for. Just another success on someone else's terms. Angela eventually takes over the group. The others berate me for not putting up a fight. But mostly they're just mad at her for taking advantage of me. They carry on hooking up and complaining and so on. Seems to make them happy. But I'm happy that I could do something that can make them happy without even being there. Not feeling any more connected to people than I was pre-club, I reached out to Bro for help.
Bro's the most normal guy you'll ever meet. He has what are unanimously agreed upon as healthy interests for someone of our age group. Sports. Beer. Weed. Porn. Floats through the world, friends with everyone. Pulls his jeans down in chip shops. Scores girls in his class on their sexual prowess. Vomits on dance floors. Certified legend.
Oh, come on in, bruv. Just about to watch them pull. See?
Who are these people?
I ask if we can do something else. He suggests Call of Duty. It's all part of the attempt to socialise me. His theory is that I should learn to become a champion of everything kids our age hold dear. Then I'll find the community I'm after. We give football another go. He tells me what team I support and feeds me what to say about them. Centre forward, leagues, offside. He waxes on confidently. I wonder if he designed his legendary self through this exact same process. He tells me about this party where I can debut my reformed self. Scott Alexander's parents are going on a cruise for their 20th anniversary, so Scott has the house to himself.
Amelia Price is going to be there.
Playground wife.
Choice piece of puss. Obviously into you. You know what they say about her, right? You know, I mean, if everything goes right tonight at this party, could end up losing your virginity, mate. I mean, everyone's doing it.
Well, what if they all fucked off a cliff?
Wow, you really need to get laid.
Someone else in my bed? Or worse, me in theirs.
Have you gotten laid?
He gets super defensive.
Either because I don't respect his legendary exploits with the opposite sex enough, or because they haven't happened. I accept him either way.
Look, from the perspective of ordinary people your age, virginity is clearly your biggest problem. Fix it, and the rest will fall into place. You could do it. Just give it a serious effort this time.
I wanted to read all that stuff in the original, but I never really did or tried. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I couldn't really fit through like a 600-page book. I can, it's just really hard.
They're celebrating because their dad's got a promotion at the Animal Protection Society where he works. They're eating pan-fried steak with chips. I think Mum's taught Floof how to make them. Floof is the daughter. That can't be her name, but that's what it sounds like when it comes muffled through the floorboards. Floof's the piano player, I think. I'm not hiding from them, by the way. All they have to do is come up. Or at least give any indication that they need this space for themselves. I haven't seen any of them in the months that I've been up here.
I take vegetables from their garden. And buy sandwiches and that, with cash I get from recycling the cans I recover from the trash. They think I'm homeless at the supermarkets. Which I guess I am.
They probably think they have a fox problem. That's how little I impose. I bet Floof loves it too.
Mr. Fox. Visiting the garden at night. No harm done. The date of Scott's party rolls around. Bro and I are prepping to go, and I'm showing off what I want to wear.
Where'd you even get that?
You'd have to ask Mum.
I borrow some skater wear from Bro and resist asking when the last time was that either of us even saw a skateboard. It's just Coke. I hope others assume there's vodka or something in it. It's enough I'm here and wandering around without having to get drunk, I think. They'd get mad that I wasn't drinking enough, but drinking more would only exacerbate the behaviour they weren't enjoying. Bro sees Thompson and Edwards. They're so cool I've forgotten their first names.
Please don't leave me.
Nah, come on. You'll be fine. Remember the training I've given you?
What do you think about centre forwards? Personally, I'm ambivalent. What's your favourite genre of porn? I saw this video once where a stepsister got stuck in the doors of a car park lift. I just can't imagine being in that situation and thinking, now I want to get fucked, you know? I guess it takes all sorts. Those Teslas have some real horsepower in them. Whatever that is. So I've read.
The circle accepts me. In it, there's Shinji Saito, laser tag champion of East Anglia, Alfie Davis, who remixes his favourite video game soundtracks, Razi Ali, who can recite the entire Quran, Claudio Sanchez, upcoming vice president of a medieval reenactment festival, and Jack Barnes, a restless inventor who says he's working on a board game where there are no enemies, players work together, and everyone wins.
These are the big hitters on Bro's list of people never to be caught dead talking to.
You never join the group that's happy to see you. That means they need you more than you need them. That will happen to you though. Can't think of anyone lower. In social status at least. You know I think you have basic human value.
I have a nice chat with the nerds for a while. We look at one another's shoes. They peel the labels off their bottles or adjust their glasses. Populars aren't talking to us.
Yeah, what's with that?
Snobbery is so unnecessary.
I know, right? We're all just rapidly perishing meat. The least we can do is be kind to one another.
I pretend to go to the bathroom, but I end up wandering into a bedroom by mistake. I'm too embarrassed to go back out there. Don't need the bathroom anyway, just need a break. It's nice and cool and dark in here. I close my eyes and try to tune out the thrum of the music from the other room.
Amelia Price. That's my full name. Did it get too loud for you out there?
Yeah.
You haven't changed. Sorry to... No, I haven't. Do you remember when we got married? What? In the playground when we were kids. Oh, yeah. Can't believe you would forget such a thing. You're one to talk. Don't see you wearing your ring anymore. Fell off the same day you made it. Well, it was made of daisies. Why so sad? I think you're a really nice person, Amelia Price. Wait. Don't follow me, face boy. My name is...
Hey! I see what you're up to. Derek!
Are you still at school?
What would make you think that? Doesn't mean I can't come to parties, does it?
Derek drinks like 4 litres of lemonade and snorts at least a gram of coke every day.
This combo once gave him an abscess on one of his molars. His mum knew this crooked dentist who got it removed. And he supplied them with this huge bottle of pain pills. So afterwards, to celebrate, they crushed them up and snorted them over dinner and washed it all down with vodka lemonade.
Or so the rumours go.
Wow, man. You're in pain. Well, I've got something for that.
And then he just leaves. I guess he's either keeping it for himself, went to get it and forgot, or didn't mean anything specific by it. I have a hard enough time figuring out typical people as it is. Whatever Derek slipped me, I never would have taken it if genuinely offered. And I still wouldn't if offered in future. This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I didn't want to use it on Scott Alexander's taste in music when I could listen to my own homemade bangers. I wasn't going to waste this experience on company when it would thrive in solitude.
So I went home. I guess that's how Derek helps people. Must be how he socializes himself. But I can't sustainably solve all my problems with what I assume is ecstasy. I've no idea what these people want. I'm working so hard to give it to them and failing that I forget to ask what it is I want from them. I'm glad I left the party when I did. Didn't want to find out that others liked the drugged version of me more. I could remember that feeling from when I was 6. But that's one of the reasons I wasn't there when Bro jumped out a barn window from the top floor. He only broke his ankle, thank God. They reckon it was all the alcohol in his system that made him ragdoll on the way down. The lack of tension in his body prevented him from further injury.
The human body is amazing. Don't you think? I've always thought so.
If something happened to someone I knew, like Bro or Amelia, it would destroy me. I just don't want to know. I can't even be around people who are suffering. It just hurts too much. It's a problem, I know, but it's just how it is. Seems like taking Bro's advice results in leaping from a barn window. Some show of legendary status, even if it means risking your own life. No thanks. And as for Amelia, that was the last time I saw her. Apparently, she hooked up with Jack Barnes, the board game innovator, later that evening. Evidently, she has a type. He took pictures of her while she wasn't looking, shared them around. Some were revenge for something she did to him in primary school. Made him laugh so hard that he pissed his pants, or didn't invite him to a birthday party, or some bullshit so petty it hardly even matters. What am I supposed to say that could make what he did okay? If I'd been attracted to Amelia in some way, she might have stayed with me, and her evening wouldn't have ended in the way that it did. What if I hadn't been such an absent friend as a kid? Maybe she wouldn't have had the chance to accidentally humiliate Jack Barnes in such a way that he had wanted to seek revenge all this time. I know it's contorted logic, and I know you can't run around saving people from themselves, but I just can't help but make the connection. Even if I don't know what it means. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. But you can never be sure. She changed schools, changed her name. I feel like I could have done something, should have done something. Can't even have people around you without collecting responsibility. God, the world is terrifying. What happened to Bro, to Amelia, that's what you get for being just like them. For putting yourself out there. For participating in life they've designed. Why are they so assured they know what to do? And that they know what I should do? I don't even think they want it. Oh, and Derek. I think he had a great night. Probably getting high with his mum right now. Wish him all the best.
I tell him everything that went down at the party. I totally understand why you got freaked out. But do keep making efforts to connect. No matter where you go in life, there are people to contend with. It's how we work. We're social creatures. We all struggle with it in our own ways. But we need it all the same. It's the most deeply rewarding aspect of our time here on the planet. Do you think about the future? What kind of job you'll have? Who you share your life with? Do you want a family someday?
When someone who shouldn't be a parent has a kid, it can be one of the greatest tragedies, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
Especially if that kid is young and full of interests, and he can't see if his mother or father is picking away at him, grinding him down, and you think you're going to have to work extra hard to get the life you deserve just because you were born in the wrong place.
I get that you have enough to do by yourself for the moment, but you'll run out of interest someday. You'll need something more substantial to occupy your time.
Why would you be right about that?
It's a real privilege to sit and ask ourselves these existential questions. Many people today, and especially in previous generations, they all just had to work all the time. They couldn't afford to sit around and ponder why they were doing it.
Thankfully I can. Finally someone can want for more.
I spot him looking at the clock.
The last one did it too. Doesn't bother me. I get it. Do they do it for money or meaning? Both, hopefully. But in reality? We're coming to the end of our time together.
There's still some time left in our session.
A gift from me to you. Bonus time. Means I can wander around without arousing any suspicion. If Mum and Dad knew I was going to wander around alone, they'd tell me to take Bro with me. If anyone suggests being alone, they hate it. I think it's because they're still ashamed of my sauntering, daydreaming, God-debating younger self.
I come across this massive empty house with the back door flapping open. Somehow, I know this is the answer to my dilemma, that I've earned it with my consistent yet failed attempts to be like everyone else. I pace my way in, careful to make sure it's empty. This family, they understand one another, have an unspoken connection. Don't drink too much or get confused about stuff or argue. They know what they're doing with their lives. They just go out and get what they want each day. Nothing else to it but harmony and happiness.
Oi, where were you? You're supposed to look after me.
You seem sorted to me. Got some time off school and everyone thinks you're a legend. For having injured himself. I don't understand these people.
You think I care about that?
You have it easy.
Easy? Broke my fucking ankle, man.
Was I supposed to stop you from doing that?
So what? You just expect me to help you, and that's it?
I'm not like you. I need gentleness.
If life was gentle, why am I such a fat, small-dicked fucking dunce who launches himself out of bloody barn windows to get some attention from people, huh?
It's not fair, but neither is life, so why should I be?
What?
I try to coach you through adulthood, and in return, I get abandoned when I do damage to myself.
I can't stop you from hurting yourself.
Then why have I bothered to socialise you?
You think I'm hurting myself by being myself. In the books I've read, the protagonist almost always knows how to feel about what's going on around them and respond appropriately. I'm never like that. I think it has to do with all that repression. I know I don't feel good, but I don't know why or what to call it. That'll take some time. When my feelings do percolate to the surface, I'm deeply hurt. Bro's the only one who used to get it before. And now even he's invested in the current model of adulthood, and against me.
There's a live stream from yesterday. At first, you can't tell what she's doing. It's like she's left her phone in her pocket by accident, which I would have assumed if it wasn't already on the news. You hear her murmur.
I'm gonna do it.
But it sounds lame. Like she's psyching herself up to buy a bar of chocolate or something. Nothing untoward yet.
You hear a beep as she goes through the turnstile, then the gentle ping of the tannoy followed by some announcements. The phone comes out her pocket and she holds it so you can see her face in front of the camera. She sticks out her tongue and throws up the peace sign. Innocent enough. She reads the comments, scrolling in on Periscope.
The typical banter. She turns her phone so we can see the tracks. There's a small gathering of mice, living their dusty lives. The horn of an incoming train. And she does. She jumps.
That scrolling screed of encouragement of a young woman's worst behaviour at her lowest point. Is community for those of us who think and do things differently? That's what crowds are. That's what they do. That's what they want from me.
A conductor jumped onto the tracks after her, managed to get her back on the platform before the train arrived. She timed it badly, jumped too soon.
But that isn't even what she was after, I'm fairly sure. I mean, attention is what made her feel so terrible in the first place. And that's why after the live stream, they section her and strip her of devices, heavily medicate her, and watch her through a tiny, thick glass window while she sleeps for 16 hours a day, beneath cheap, scratchy-looking sheets. She wasn't the first nor last to try and kill herself on Periscope. But I'm glad she's one of the ones that ultimately didn't succeed. Do you know what Periscope is? I never use it. Wonder if anyone still does. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like to die on a defunct streaming service. I can't help but think it has something to do with the person's legacy. Apps become popular and then fall out of use, just like people. We wear one another like the silk scarf of the season or something. I'm not the right person for a fashion analogy, but you get the point. Any life suicide, just like the app of their choosing, is eventually forgotten. Even for an act that desperate and public. It all washes away in the landslide of worse news. Back at school, everyone's Amelia's friend in retrospect. Like, I know there are good people out there, but it's the loud ones that make you cynical. You know you can get divorced if you want to.
I told them about Amelia.
Just think. The whole time these kids condition me to be like them, they're miserable.
I thought your brother was helping you with all this.
Sorry to go higher up the family hierarchy than necessary, Dad, but bro doesn't want to talk to me.
The both of you live here for fuck all. Full room and board. The least you could do is get on with one another. Okay then, son. You obviously don't want to follow our path. So, what are you gonna do? Got any bright ideas?
No. And that's why I never tell them how to be. Imagine a world where some people are born with claws instead of hands. Not often, but it's possible. Imagine I'm one of those people.
And because of that, I often drop cups or can't use scissors or accidentally cut up my favourite books. And then you say, hey, we all act clumsy sometimes. Drop things, tear books. These are very human things to do. But look at me. I have two hands. Just because you're bad at using scissors doesn't necessarily mean you have claws. So I say, I agree. If someone behaves in the way I just described, it doesn't necessarily mean they have claws. But in my case, that's exactly what it means. But that's quite rare. You respond. I should mention that you're so assured you know that I have hands that you won't even look at my appendages for confirmation. It's rare, I say, trying to flail my claws in your line of sight, but it does happen, and it is happening to me. I think I would know, you reply. You don't seem like the kind of person who has claws. Whatever that means. But then you say, if you feel like your appendages are non-hand-like, perhaps you should try attaching fake fingers to them so people don't notice. Rather than, oh, I don't know, advising me to do cool stuff like help remove people from cars crushed in accidents or something. I mean, I can't even think of more examples of cool stuff people with claws could do because I've been raised in such a hand-centric world, you know? The point is, I could do stuff you've never even considered a human could be capable of. But all you want to do is make my claws look like hands for the incredibly stupid reason that hands are just what most people have, without even considering that maybe I was designed to do claw stuff. It's like I'm not allowed to reach my full potential because the sight of me doing so would make you uncomfortable.
Does that make any sense?
Help us clear up the table, would you?
I'm trying to talk to you about something serious.
If you get to live here, you have to help out.
Get to live here? Where else would you let me go?
You should have this more figured out by now than you do.
Not terribly helpful to have your worst fears echo back to you.
We're preparing you for the real world.
What? Uni, job, wife, kids, retire, dead?
If you want to think of it that way.
That's the last way I want to think of it.
If the real world was a choice, do you think anyone would choose it?
You chose it for me when you made me.
Okay. I felt like you once. And I know this isn't nice to hear, but it's just too early for you to be happy. That comes later.
When do you expect it to happen to you?
Given everything that you've just told me, you seem to have a lot of insight. Doesn't sound like you need me.
Yeah, well, you don't stop being who you are just because you can articulate it, right?
Not necessarily. So, all the pieces of your life haven't fallen into place yet. The point is, you keep trying, and good on you for it. From what you've told me, it sounds like you're slowly making efforts to introduce your real self, as best you understand it, to your peer group.
Oh no, I can't do that. It's deadly. I have to make them think I'm like them. It's the only way to survive.
But, being honest, talking about your problems, isn't that what friends are for?
I don't know, do you?
Do I what?
Know what friends are for?
Look, wherever you go in life, there will always be people there, and you'll have to reckon with them.
Don't make me think about that.
But it sounds like you're giving up.
You think I'm antisocial, but all the forced ordinariness around other people, that's antisocial.
I'm not so sure I quite agree with your interpretation of what your peers are doing. Have you considered that they might know something you don't? After all, everyone does.
I used to agree that was a good way to think about others.
What changed?
Just because someone knows something that you don't doesn't mean that you will ever find out what it is. Or that if you do, that it will have been worth the effort.
Do you feel that living is hopeless?
Not at all. I'm excited about too many things.
Like what?
I did this already.
When?
With a different therapist.
And what did this other therapist say?
Amongst other things, that my many interests showed a lack of dedication. Maybe dedication is a symptom of lack of broader interests. Hey, what about this? Maybe no one is a problem to be solved. Maybe they're fine as they are. I think until people figure that out, I'll just store myself away somewhere. I told her my plan. I hadn't expected to, but what did I have to lose in being honest? Hadn't I come here in the hope that she had an answer for me? Some habit that I'd failed to pick up? Some attitude that I hadn't considered that would help the social sphere click for me?
Listen. Society is not going to change all that much in your lifetime.
So you agree with me?
What?
With my plan?
Before you resort to anything drastic, I'd really like you to come back again, but right now we're coming
To the end of our time together.
Hey, do you have a moment? It's so important what I'm talking about. Materialism is just an illusion.
I'm in a hurry.
Yes, that's because you're caught up in materialism.
Why does everyone think they have an answer for me without even taking the time to learn anything about me?
Man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you.
I'd join anyone's fucking cult if I thought they had any fucking answers.
Pull the finger out. Pay attention, pay attention. People have it so much worse than you. Pay attention. What did I do now? Whose blood is on my hands? I was sitting on the couch, eating a sandwich. Go fuck yourself. I didn't mean it. Let me explain. Don't assume that's all I ever thought. Please don't leave. There's more to me than my momentary mistakes. Or so I'd like to believe, but where's the evidence? Stay an informed voter. Shameful not to be. Read the news. Global recession. Why did that happen? No reason it won't happen again. Did nuclear annihilation stop being a threat, or did we just get used to it? What does it say about humans that we can get accustomed to such a thing? How about that climate, huh? What do you do about that? Wash cling film. Go after the big greedy companies who shift their burden onto little people like us, who hang our hand-soaked tinfoil onto washing lines to prevent typhoons, bullying us about our footprints when we're just trying to exist without shame. Exist with shame. Accept your burden. Keep the share prices up. Fill the oceans with microplastics. You think it's okay to hide away because it's too hard to think about? You're how I ended up like this. Privilege. Entitlement. Head dunked in the sand having others have it so much worse. Don't give up hope. Stay informed about your passive participation in systemic oppression. Only then do you have a chance to do something about it. Go vote.
Tsunamis, earthquakes, can't even exist. Extreme poverty. Look at it, shameful. Others have it much, much worse. How dare you indulge and wallow when others choose to thrive? So what? I'm supposed to just disregard my own wants and needs out of respect for those who's a bigger. How am I even supposed to do that? Others do have it worse. They always have. Think of the misunderstood mentally ill throughout history who've suffered for unknown reasons and died in pain. Wooden teeth and aching gums, surgery without anaesthetic, covered in lice, fleas and gangrenous wounds. Just try and make it better. No matter where you go, it's still life as you've always known it. And yet, if the mere notion of living is your only problem, then you're one of the lucky ones. Well, what to do about that? About being an immortal soul in a perishable flesh vessel? About the free will you don't have? Who's gonna figure that out? You? You forgot to buy milk. Been on Earth 2 decades. Multiply that by 3 and add it on, and that's all the time you have left if you're lucky. What hope do we have of learning anything useful about this place in that time? Finding comfort or relief? Can't live in the past, present, future, and live it all at once, unbearable. Meditate. Hands. Anxiety. Don't talk about that. Okay. Lighten up. How? Talk more. Okay. You're too quiet. Okay. No, don't talk about that. Please, leave me alone. But we'll miss you. What do you miss when you won't let me be who I am?
Somehow I know that, though I don't know how I know, that even though those are logical concerns, the problem has to be something else. I know. Something other than everything I just mentioned. And no, it wasn't because I hadn't eaten or slept enough. What if the problem wasn't mine? What if no one could help me because there wasn't anything wrong with me? I kept expecting to feel like a real person. But I already was one. The world was just pushing me away from it to suit its own demands. The whole time they were looking at me as though I wasn't following the script. But they never even stopped to wonder if I even had a part in the production. Or maybe they always knew. And that's what they sought to condition out of me. The life they participated in was a dream. And since I was the only one breaking character, they had to stop me so they could keep on dreaming. What they saw, it was so beautiful, they wanted me to see it too. They were trying to help. Someone's crying. The mother. Maybe she's worried about Flu's future. Not sure what her daughter wants to be. Wondering what she'll become, if anything, despite how talented she seems to be. I'm projecting, of course. I'm not psychic. You know, I think all most people want is a little village with all their favourite people in it. Just hanging out. Making art, maybe. Trouble is, we'd all want to fill our villages with different people. And your closest friend probably couldn't hang out with your 5 other closest friends. And this is the next best thing. I still have to contend with myself.